Alright, this is on my 1971 Dodge Challenger RT. It's a 383 4-speed shaker hood car. The car was purchased in the mid 80s by my father. He bought the car, didn't have the original 383 in it. It had actually it had no motor in it if I remember right. He purchased it for the 4-speed transmission. It's an 18 spline 4-speed and the shaker hood. He needed those two components for his 1970 RTSE, which didn't have the shaker hood on it and it had the wrong transmission in it. So he purchased the car and decided he was going to sell it in about 80, if I remember right, 86, 87, somewhere in there, maybe around 88. And the gentleman that was going to buy it showed up and was looking at the car, and I told my dad, hey, I think I want to buy this. And he wanted $1,500 for it at the time. And he asked me, okay, well, how are you gonna pay for it? And I said, well, I get so much money for mowing the yard. I get so much money for doing this, doing that, chores. So he said, okay, I'm going to sell it to you. It's been 90, probably 94, 93, 94, somewhere in there. We started working on the car, and I was 16, 17 years old and kind of not wanting to get into the car as much as I probably should. And I was more into Jeeps and chasing girls and things like that. So my dad decided that if I wasn't going to work on it, it's coming out of the shop. So this was the last time it was in the shop, was here on the rotisserie. And about 27 years later, this is where it was still. There's my rear end for it. There's the K member. We went up in 2021 and cut all the weeds away from it. So there's the VIN showing the 4433, which I always liked that. So cut the weeds away from it and decided to yank it out of its tomb that had been in for quite a few years. And the car is completely torn apart. Like I said, it was on the rotisserie when it got pulled out of the shop. The major body work was done to it. It had rot in the fenders. We've welded new fenders in it, or quarter panels in it. It looks bad where it is, but it's actually not. It does have some moss growing on it, a few things like that right now. But for the most part, it's actually a pretty solid car. When it was stored up there, we put it on tires so that or my dad put it on tires. I wasn't around when it happened, so that it, wasn't sitting on the ground rotting away that way, which is good. All the doors and fenders and all the interior, or most of the interior, is stuffed away in one of his buildings. But right here, you're seeing we're hooking onto it, picking it up with a skid steer, and actually pulling it down the hill. And we're going to set it in front of one of the shops that we were going to put it in. What was that, 2021 to work on for the 2022 season. Well, it's 2023 right now, and it never made it into the shop. We decided that we're going to wait until we get the sandblasting building put up. The whole car gets sandblasted. So there it is. We set it down on some ties until we got the rotisserie set up, and then we going to pick it up and throw it on the rotisserie. But this was my first car. I was 11, 12 years old when I bought it. Somewhere right in there. Probably a good thing that it never got finished. I would have sold it or wrecked it or something. I'm 45 years old now, so it's time to restore it, and I'll actually hang on to it. The building that it's sitting in front of right now is the one that it's going to actually get redone in. Behind that building, we're going to put in a sandblasting booth, basically, and set it up so we can roll the car in there on a rotisserie or on another cart system that we'll build and sandblast it. I got to finish cleaning up a lot of the welds from back in the mid 90s that we welded all the parts on. A couple other little spots that had some rust. I got to build some body parts, nothing major. But it was probably a good thing that I didn't finish it. I do need to find a new dash for it. The dash is cracked. I'm pretty sure it was cracked before. I think I have some pictures of the split in it before it sat up there and cooked in the sun forever. But kind of documenting all the pieces and parts on it. Took a lot of photos of this part of it. Don't have a lot of video of it. When I actually start doing the restoration, I'll do a full blown video series on that part of it too. It's one of the quarters we welded in. Actually turned out pretty good. Had to cut out one of the marker lights. Used a quarter out of, I think it was a 72 or 73 Challenger. Got some videos of when those were picked up. I think it was over in Montana where we got those. There's the motor, 383. So the original motor blew up in 75. This won't be a matching number motor, but it is a factory replacement that was purchased in the early 70s for if you blow up your motor like mine did. So it'll be a pretty much a correct one. That right there is the actual shaker hood for my car. It's like I said, it's on my dad's 1970 right now. There's the car sitting in my backyard. I got it up on the rotisserie, threw it up on my trailer. The orange hood underneath it is a flat hood. I've actually bought a kit that I'm going to convert that into a shaker hood. Once again, I'm not going to say that it's original. I'm not that kind of person. I will, I know where the original hood is, and I'll end up with it one day, but not anytime soon, hopefully. That right there's the 79 Dodge Power Wagon that you see in a lot of my videos back in the day. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions, I might be able to answer some of them on here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. I appreciate it. Thank you.